Hello guys, my name is Prince and this is Math Center. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. Post your comments and questions on my social media handles and I'll respond to it. We are the topic linear equations and linear inequalities. We are dealing with linear equations at the moment. In the previous video, we learned how to solve linear equations involving fractions. In this video, we are going to learn how to solve practical problems that require the use of linear equations. So, practical application. Algebra can be used to solve problems given words or sentences. So, we can use algebra to solve problems when words or sentences are given about the problem. So in this type of questions, we will be given words or sentences about a certain problem. Then we will use algebra to solve it. Now, how are we going to do this? Whenever you are given such a problem or to solve such a problem, the first thing you need to do is to read the information carefully. This is very, very important. The information that has been given to you, the words or sentences about the problem that have been given to you, you have to read it very carefully. Then you choose a letter to represent the unknown quantity. Now you will see that in these types of questions, you will be asked to find something that is the unknown quantity. Maybe you'll be asked to find somebody's age, somebody's money, a certain number. You'll be asked to find something, number of something. That is what you don't know. That is what we call the unknown quantity. You choose a variable or a letter to represent that unknown quantity. I hope that is clear. So you always have to choose a letter or a variable to represent the unknown quantity. Now, after you've done that, use the information given to form a linear equation in terms of the chosen letter. So the information that you have been given, use that information and the unknown quantity or the chosen letter the variable that you've chosen. Use the information given and the variable to form a linear equation. I hope that is clear. So now if you're going to read the information, you understand what you are being told to do. You choose a letter or a variable to represent the unknown quantity. Then using the information and the letter that you've chosen, form a linear equation in terms of the letter that you've chosen. Then you solve the linear equation. So solve the linear equation you formed. If you solve the linear equation, you'll be able to find the unknown quantity. Let's pick some examples and see how we can apply what you've learned here. We are going to solve two examples in this video. Then in the next video, we will solve two examples. So let's begin with the first one. If 4 is added to half of a number, the result is 8. What is the number? Now the first point said we should read the information carefully. So let's read the information again. If 4 is added to half of a number, the result is 8. What is the number? So you ask yourself, what does the question want me to find? It is clear in it. The question wants you to find a number, a certain number. So the number that you want to find, that is the unknown quantity. So here, this is a question mark. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, so this is a question mark. Find what is the number? The question wants us to find a certain number. We are being told to find a certain number. So we have now seen that number that we want to find is the unknown quantity. The next point was that, so we have been able to read the information carefully. The next point is that we have to choose a letter to represent the unknown quantity. So here the unknown quantity is a certain number that we want to find. So choose a letter to represent that number. So we are going to write the solution here. Now we have to choose a letter to represent the number. So I'm going to say that let the number be equal to x. So now I've chosen S to represent the unknown quantity, which is the number that I want to find. Let's move on. The next point was that we have to use the information and the letter that we've chosen, which is S, to form a linear equation. So that is what we are going to do. Now we have let the number be S. Let's read the information again. If 4 is added to half of a number, so you are going to consider the first part. 4 is added to half of a number. So 4 is added to half of a number. What this means is that we have now let the number here be equal to S. So from this information, we can say that 4 plus half of the number, which is S. I hope this is clear. So 4 is added to half, which is 1 over 2, of the number, which is S. We know from our studies in mathematics that whenever you see of, it means multiplication or times. So this is going to give us 4 plus 1 over 2 times S. Now this S here is the same as S over 1. Any number divided by any number that stands on its own is divided by 1. So this X here is the same as X over 1. So you are going to have 1 times X, then 2 times 1. And this is going to give us 4 plus 1 times X will give us X, 2 times 1 will give us 2. So we are going to have 4 plus S over 2. So you have been able to deal with the first part of the equation, with the first part of the information here. Now let's continue. The information says that if 4 is added to half of the number, the result is 8. So after you've added 4 to half of the number, we are now getting 4 plus S over 2. After you've done this, it says that the result is 8, which means that this whole thing here is 8. That means that 4 plus S over 2 is 8, is equal to 8. I hope that is clear. So let's go through the whole process again. We are going to go through the whole process again so that you get what you want, what you want to do. You read the information carefully. 4 is added. If 4 is added to half of a number, the result is 8. What is the number? You ask yourself, what does the question want me to find? The question wants you to find a number. So you represent the unknown quantity, which is the number, by a variable. We are choosing X. You break the information down. 4 is added to half of a number. So 4 is added to half of a number. We have now let the number be S. So 4 plus half of X. This will give us 4 plus 1 over 2 times X. And we know this will give us 4 plus X over 2. Now it says that the result is 8, which means that after you've done this, the result is 8. This whole thing here is 8. It's equal to 8. So 4 plus X over 2 is equal to 8. As soon as we form this linear equation, we can now solve the linear equation. So let's solve this. We know that this is an example of linear equations which involve fractions. The fraction here is S over 2. The denominator that we have is 2, which means that we are going to use that as our LCM. So you multiply every term by the denominator. 4 is one term, S over 2 is one term, and 8 is also another term. So you multiply every term by denominator. So 2 times 4 plus 2 times X over 4. 2 times 4 plus 2 times X over 2 is equal to 8 times 2. The denominator is 2. So you multiply every term with 2. So 2 times 4 plus 2 times X over 2 is equal to 2 times 8, or 8 times 2. So 2 times 4 will give us 8. When you come here, 2 will cancel itself 1 and cancel 2, 1. So you're going to have 1 times X, which is X, is equal to 8 times 2, which is 16. So X will give us, you group like terms, we take 8 from this side to this side, it's going to be negative. So S is equal to 16 minus 8, and S will give us 8. So we can see that therefore the number is 8. Now after you find this, try and see if it satisfies the question. The question says that 4 is added to half of a number. We have now found the number to be 8. So half of 8 will give us 4. When you add 4 to 4, what do you get? 8. Remember the question said when 4 is added to half of the number, the result is 8. So you see that when you test it, you see that truly the number is 8. Let's consider the next example. We have 3 is added to 5 times a number and the result is multiplied by 4. The final result is 72. What is the number? So once again, we are going to break this down. So we bring our solution. 3 is added to 5 times a number. The question is telling us to find a certain number. We don't know the number. So I'm going to let the number be equal to 8. So now, we let the number be equal to A. So now we know that the number is A. So we can proceed from here. 3 is added to 5 times the number. What this means is that 3 is added to plus 5 times the number, which we now know to be A. So this is going to give us 3 plus 5 times A will give us 5A. Now let's continue. The result is multiplied by 4. Now when you add 3 to the number, we are getting, when you add 3 to 5 times the number, we are getting 3 times 3 plus 5A. The next point says that the result is multiplied by 4. Which result? This result here is multiplied by 4. Now because what we have here is a binomial, that is 2 terms, and we are going to multiply it by a number here which is 4, you will put the binomial, that is the 2 terms, in a bracket. Then you bring this number outside the bracket. So this is going to give us 4 into bracket 3 plus 5A. So 3 is added to 5 times a number. You know that that will give us, if the number is A, that is going to give us 3 plus 5A. The result is 4. So it means that 3 plus 5A is multiplied by 4. The result is multiplied by 4. So 3 plus 5A is being multiplied by 4. Because 3 plus 5A is a binomial, you put that in a bracket. Then you bring the 4 outside the bracket. The next part of the statement says that the final result is 72. So after you've multiplied this one by 4, the final result, everything here is 72, which means that 4 into bracket 3 plus 5A is equal to 72. After you multiply this 3 plus 5A by 4, the final result is 72. So everything here is equal to 72. So we now have the linear equation. You expand the bracket, you group like terms, you simplify. So 4 times 3 will give us 12. 4 times 5A will give us 28, and this will give us 72. So you group the like terms, you are getting 28 is equal to 72 minus 12. 28 is equal to 60. You divide both sides by 20, and A will give us 3. So here the number is 3. So you test and see if this satisfies the equation, if this satisfies the statement. The statement says that 3 is added to 5 times a certain number. So we've now found the number to be 3. So 3 is added to 5 times a certain number. 5 times 3 will give us 15. So 3 is added to 15. That will be 18. So 3 times 3 plus 15 will give us 18. Now it says that the result is multiplied by 4. The result is multiplied by 4, which means that you're multiplying 18 by 4. When you multiply 18 by 4, we know that you are going to get 72 as we have here. So 5 times 3 will give us 15, and 3 plus 15 will give us 18. When you multiply 18 by 4, you are going to get 72 as we have here. So you see that this one also satisfies the equation. So all you need to do is to read the statement carefully. You let a letter or a variable represent the unknown quantity. You form the linear equation, then you solve the linear equation in order to find the unknown quantity. So we can say that the number is 3. Therefore, the number is 3. Remember, the question did not tell you to find A. We just introduced A. So after you finish the whole thing, you have to answer the question. The question said find the number. So the number is 3. Thank you for watching this video on practical problem that involve the use of linear equation. Pick more examples and try your hands on it. If you have any problem with any of the questions, interact with me on my social media handles and I'll help you to solve it. In the next video, we are going to consider 2 more examples on solving practical problems that involves the use of linear equation. Bye bye.